It's the day of the show.
Eat.
I know something I won't tell. I won't tell. I won't tell. I know something I won't.
What do you know, huh?
It's just that Injun Joe is ticklish.
Aaron Sparrow here. You may know me as the writer of Darkwing Duck or Death Rage or the upcoming Kneel Before Doomface. And I just want to go ahead and tell you right now that Fantastic Comics is the greatest comic shop to ever exist in the history of this universe or any other universe.
Dusty, go on over to that piano.
Oh, no.
No.
I haven't played in so long. I couldn't. Been a long time.
All right. We're going to do a little number for you, but remember, we're a bit rusty, so bear with us. Just like the old days.
All right.
Maestro?
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile. Dear little buttercup, won't you stay a while? Come with me where moonbeams paint the sky, and you and I might linger in the sweet by and by. Oh, dear little buttercup, with your eyes so blue. Oh, little buttercup, you're a dream come true. You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, I love you.
Everybody!
My little buttercup has the sweetest.
It's my ear. Great.
Dear little buttercup, won't you stay out?
Wild.
You and I will settle down in a cottage built for two. Dear little buttercup, sweet little buttercup, my little buttercup, I love you.
Hello there, son. Do you know where Mr. St. Cloud is?
Oh, goody. I'm being hazed by my big villain. I wear my rubber panties just in case you tickle me. I always make wee-wee with tickles.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's St. Cloud?
They took me off into a separate room. I seen them taking different people off, different ones of us off in separate rooms. And They put me on a big white table, and the guy that to take me there, the one of them that took me in there to examine me, I guess, he probed me, and then I was in there, I bet more than 3 or 4 hours in that room being probed, and at one time or another, there's different ones of them come in, 4, 5, 6 of them at different times, and all of them probed me. Not all at once, you know, individually. Later on, years later, now even still, it's a funny thing. It happened on a Sunday, and every Sunday, about the time that I was taken on board that ship, I find I have no feelings in my buttocks.
John, the kind of control you're attempting is it's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, well, there it is.
There it is. You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
Mom! Jenny ate my corn on the cob!
No, I didn't. He's lying.
Now, kids. Jenny, why don't you get us dessert?
I love you, little brother.
I love you, sis.
Beautiful kids.
Now, Desmond, you do smoke, ganja at home, don't you?
Oh, yeah, man. We smoke that shit all the time.
People don't like Globochem and its 2023 different products.
The perception is that this company is a monster.
A beast.
A cold, heartless, smelly behemoth.
Run by a greedy,
fat-headed fatty pants.
A fatso. Who do you think you are? This company cares. We were in the people business when you were in short pants. My great-great-great-grandfather started this company with one single rickety, leaky, handcrafted slave ship and a simple motto: people selling people to people. So don't tell me that I'm fat!
You worked at All American Burger
7 months ago.
I knew it.
Why don't you get a job, Spicoli?
What for?
You need money.
All I need are some tasty waves, a cool buzz, and I'm fine.
My brother and I used to say that drowning in beer was like heaven, eh? Now he's not here, and I got 2 soakers. This isn't heaven, this
Don't
sucks.
Talk. Tell me, Senator, did you nurse Catherine yourself?
What?
Did you breastfeed her?
Now, wait a minute.
Yes, I did.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Amputate a man's leg and he can still feel it tickling. Tell me, Mom, when your little girl is on the slab, where will it tickle you?
Take this thing back to Baltimore.
Smart-ass ex-boyfriend. You know who I am?
A deeply full retail manager.
Renee's with me now. Okay? You got that? So don't be sniffing around her anymore like you try to do with that. Shit.
There goes the loan.
Listen to me. I got 2 things to tell you. All right? One, I don't like you. You see you every week in this mall. I don't like shiftless layabouts. You're one of these fucking loser mall rat kids. You don't come down here to work or shop. You hang out all day. Act like you fucking live here. Well, I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda.
Is this what's known as motivated salesmanship?
All right, come out or I'll blast you out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Now everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with Hacha. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. I want to apologize for everybody that I wasn't here last week, but this is our 241st episode. I've been taking some time off every once in a while, and unfortunately, it ends up being on a Tuesday. For those of you that are new here, or just like hearing this,
my name is Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's me, retailer extraordinaire in Berkeley, California. Man, we last week we lost our credit card machine. I went in one morning and it wasn't there anymore. It didn't work, so we had Square. It actually was 2 weeks ago, and the first one happened like on a Friday. So what are you gonna really do? But I'll let the week go before I talk to my bookkeeper, and then I ordered the new machine, which I should have in tomorrow. So it should be fun. No cords or anything. How exciting. These are the things I talk about here on the show because I am a comic book store owner, and we talked about the small business aspect of being a comic book store owner, a fan of comic books, and I don't know, something else. I've been doing it for a long time in one way, shape, or form. There was a past when I desired to be the Rich Johnston of comic books. Before Rich Johnston, was that really who I was hoping to be? We have a guest today. It's Joe Corallo. If you didn't read the actual title of the show, he's going to be coming in and joining us with some of the shenanigans that go on in the show. We talk about things that happen in the store, things that people talk about in the store, what the conversation's all about, and things like that. And sometimes, the outside stuff, the outside world, and how it affects the store. I was on Thinking Critical this last Saturday, and I had this big old spiel about not liking any of the comic book movies and stuff like that. But really what it was is I was just frustrated with everybody not liking it so much. And it's like, why'd you ever expect it was going to be good? You know what I mean? Seriously, even the stuff that was really good, was it your favorite of all time? That's like people that think like the Matrix movies are like, super great, right? Maybe Joe has a thought on this. I also have a video that I play for him, so let's play that right now.
You have that look about you.
One that says I need a drink.
One that says you need a positive review.
We're fellow travelers, warriors of words, soldiers of syntax, pugilists of prose.
Writers.
Ugh, writers. You know, Joe, I actually have to apologize to you also.
Oh?
Yeah. I didn't realize that I missed ordering one of your books that came out recently. Was it an Archie book, I think?
Yeah, it was, give me a sec here. It was Kardak the Mystic.
You know, I can't understand. I thought I did order that too. I'm sure it's still available though, right?
Yeah, no, I'm as far as I know, and I'm really proud of that one. Butch Mappa did a fantastic job with the art on it. Ellie Wright on the colors. Jack Morelli, he letters like almost every Archie thing. But yes, it was good.
Awesome.
I had a really good time with it.
Archie, let's just, so this is gonna be a little free form. We have little things that we want to talk about, but Archie, they've done a number on their publishing as far as I can see. I mean, they used to have consistently things that were coming out that you could depend on.
Yeah.
And then now there's no monthly comic book really. It's these one shots that come out every once in a while, whether it be like the more adult style, part of or let's say higher, teen Archie character, reading.
Sure.
And then the humorous stuff. But not even any of that really. I mean, it's here you go. This came out. What's the deal with them?
Well, it's sort of like a building back up, a build back better, if you will. Where
they've been doing that for a while too.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you've seen like I think this year is the first time they really went back to doing mini series for really the first time in like 2 or maybe even 3 years. Starting with the Archie Judgment Day, and then they're doing the Curse Library, and now they have the superhero one coming out. So they are building back up to that. So I guess we're seeing more stuff like that, which I'm hopeful that we'll see more regular Archie stuff, because I do like that stuff. I like Archie. I like seeing that stuff out there regularly. It does sort of fill a niche that not a lot of other publishers are doing, and they have the name recognition for doing that. So like I'd love to see some more of just like the regular Archie stuff, in addition to the horror stuff and some of the other stuff they do.
They need to go back to gag stuff though, just a little bit. I mean, maybe they could do the purposely flirtatious covers now on the normal comic book. That would be a thing that would really sell it.
Yeah, but
I made a boner of myself. Something, I don't know, whatever.
I did read that Tom King one shot one they did.
How was that? I didn't read it.
It was actually it was cute. It was was actually like an old school Archie kind of comic.
Archie didn't want to like kill himself in the end or anything like that.
No, well, this is the crazy thing.
Jughead
I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it for people who haven't read it, but it's one of those goofy sort of like oh, Jughead, I'm finally gonna pick between Betty and Veronica. I'm gonna flip a coin. And then, he flips the coin and it flies out the window and starts rolling down the street. And he's like, oh no, I gotta catch this coin. And then it's rolling all through Riverdale. So everyone's sort of like, what's going on? Like Archie's going to pick between Betty and Veronica. And they're like, oh, geez, we got to find out who he picked. It was cute.
All right. Excellent. Both ladies found the coin at the same time and are holding it, right? That's how it ends.
I won't spoil it. It's a little different than what you would think. But
they went to therapy. They I know. I've seen those type of movies. I know what happens in therapy.
You know, but it really did play off like I'm trying to think the best way to describe it. Like it was an Archie comic that Tom King wrote, not a Tom King comic that Archie published.
And of course, I fully expect it to be that way. But
yeah,
you know, the joke. I have to
no,
run
for
it in the
sure.
ground.
But yeah.
All right, so I have one more apology to make.
Sure.
Remember, I didn't read this one, but I was I made a snap judgment about it because back in the Vault days, you did this comic book.
Yeah. And
I was like, these fucking homage covers have got to end.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's
I got it.
Like 5 years. I mean, this was like, when did this come out? Do you remember when it came out?
That would have been 2019. So that issue probably would have came out like June or May, maybe 2019.
So that was like 5-6 years after Saga. I mean, it's not like it's I mean, come on, you know?
Yeah. Those
These
things
covers.
like for that particular issue, that cover, like those are things like a lot of smaller publishers do this kind of thing where they will do these variant covers. Like it wasn't discussed in sort of the way that like they didn't ask us, oh, what would you like to homage or something? They're like, we're doing this. So, you know, which was fine. I like Saga. I think the cover came out fine. Sure. But that wasn't the sort of thing that we got any sort of input on.
Well, I wanna apologize for making that snap judgment. That was before we knew each other, and I did the whole YouTube thing.
It's fine.
A comic book of yours we did have, but I have the last one because I wanted to make sure I had it. Was this DC Pride a celebration of Rachel Pollitt? And you did the last story, right?
Yes, I did. It was a 10-page story.
Maybe I opened to the right one. And the rest are Rachel's stories from when she was doing Doom Patrol and working in the 90s mostly, right?
Yeah. No, it was good stuff, but we did get John Workman, who lettered her whole Doom Patrol run, to be the letterer for the story I did with Ry Hickman. So that was...
He's the only guy I think that really deserves having their name on the... All right, because he insinuates himself Richard Starkings, but seriously, John Workman's really the only... What, maybe Orzechowski, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, Orzechowski. Really? In terms of letters...
Todd Klein, that's one at one time.
Todd Klein, Orzechowski. I've always been a Rick Parker fan. Who just put out a graphic novel through Abrams, I want to say, Drafted. I think it just came out.
Oh, really?
Past few weeks. And that is it's an autobio comic about Rick Parker's time in the military and stuff like that. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that should be interesting for some of my customers, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to check it out. Rick actually DM'd me the other day being like, hey, I'm gonna be signing at St. Mark's, if you're around on Wednesday or tomorrow. It'd be great to see you. And I was like, actually, I think the timing does work out that I can make it. So I'm going to try to swing by and see him there. He's always been great. I like Rick Parker a lot.
That's cool. Thanks for letting me know about that. I'll
no problem.
Like I said, I definitely know some customers that will like it, and you never know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm done apologizing. That's about all I have to apologize for right now. Yes.
All apologies.
Yes, all apologies. All the apologies ever have been taken care of here right now. I have nothing else going on. So are you ready for this first segment? We're going to talk about something. I will make sure to keep it comic book related, okay?
Sure.
All right. Good luck to you here. Here it comes. This is the Wrestling Minute. Have you watched wrestling recently?
Not recently, no.
Good. Me either. Ever since the WWE moved ever since I got rid of Hulu, and they pretty much moved their stuff off of Hulu, I haven't watched any unless it's been on YouTube or on one of the PLEs, which we just had one last week or the week before, whatever. It still runs together, and I'm not even watching this shit. And then AEW, I don't have cable, so I just get to listen to people making fun of it. And, I really soured on it as I was reviewing it more and more each day. So it really wasn't my bag. But
yeah, it's been a couple of years since I watched much AEW.
Well, they just are such Southern wrestling. They love cutting themselves and jumping on top of things and getting hurt and everything like that. And the thing I saw this week, and I'm going to point it out, it kind of plays against that. And my point is this. You see these deadly matches and things, and the people don't die, right?
Yeah.
That's why you never say to another wrestler you don't say, I'm going to kill you. Because if you don't kill them, and if you do, that's not good either, right?
Although, how long between when they hung Big Boss Man and him actually dying was there? It wasn't that long.
I don't remember how long it was. I think there was some years still. But definitely the Big Show's dad died, and there was no time when they were basically desecrating that guy.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that happened. And then I guess there was that. And then I guess when what was it? When Mae Young gave birth to Mark Henry's hand or whatever that was, that hand probably didn't survive long.
No, it did, because and I got flagged for it one time. There was a WrestleMania, and I think it was during the COVID years. And Logan Paul, I can't remember. There was some celebrity was wrestling somebody, Sami Zayn, and there was a big hand, and they said, "Oh, that's Mark Henry's kid," and it slapped the wrestler upside the head. It was pretty funny.
Huh. All right, that's funny.
All right, no. It really was. Anyway, this is my point. There was a scene in Raw this Monday where Tiffany Stratton was going up against Rhea Ripley, just verbally. But to get the height she's wearing, and she usually wears them anyway, she had some high heels. But the bad guys hit them from behind, and Tiffany, as you can see, is knocked out of her heels.
Yeah.
And let me move this banner because it's totally in the way. You can see these shoes here, right?
Yeah.
And so, these people blade and you bleed. The simplest of things that are accidental are ultimately worse than all the stuff that they put themselves through for the semblance of realism. Check this out.
Yeah.
Oh, the big boot!
And if you didn't see that, she landed on her head, right on that shoe. Rhea Ripley did. And that had to hurt. I mean, that's just, you don't need to be doing the fake stuff either. But, since I was talking about WWE, AEW in DC Comics, which are titled All In for the new regime, Rebirth, the New 52, we're all in. Marvel Now Again, Marvel Then. In the back of these DC books, they've got AEW dudes. And this is the Will Ospreay one. And then they have a advertisement for all of their shows. And I was wondering, when they signed their deal with WBD, how much synergy was there actually going to be in their companies? Because you got Warner Brothers here, you got AEW. Yeah. AEW has a pay-per-view called All In also. And it just happened, but they hadn't made their deal, and there wasn't really a lot of crossover. But just recently, this seems to be happening. So unless Tony Khan's just shilling out a crap ton of money because of it, or there is some sort of something going on, who knows? I thought, maybe you do. You got your ear to the ground on that one?
I don't know offhand, but I am
Steve Orlando's writing that.
Yeah, I'm going to be at New York Comic Con this weekend, and I'm on a panel with Steve Orlando. So probably pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah, you should pick his brain. Like, how much coordination did he have with Tony Khan? That's creative over at AEW, or was it just so easy and they were like, yeah, this is fine.
But yeah, no, I'll pick his brain.
All right, that's great. We'll find out.
Yeah.
And that's your wrestling minute. I've got a little bit of business to attend. Are you down with doing that? Okay.
Yeah, I can business.
Let's it's really quick. All right. Here's a little video.
Bill, spin my arm.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. I win a Winnebago. I win a Winnebago. No, so close. I spun it a little too hard.
It's true, he did. We are going to be spinning the wheel to see who wins the Wolverine Revenge variant of number 1.
Ooh.
I know it's a 1 in 25. I don't usually get a whole bunch of bagged comics to the point, but it's Jonathan Hickman and Greg Capullo. So of course, people are going to want to buy it. And you can see all of my customers that are in the system, and they're all going to be available for possibly winning this, whether they know it or not. And we're gonna spin this wheel right now. So good luck to all of y'all. It's very exciting, don't you think?
Very.
Just one spin too.
Very.
Oh, look at Colin. All right. I'm sure he won't care. All right. I'm going to stop sharing that. Congratulations, Colin. Let me write your name down so I don't forget. Oh, you know what? I'll just keep it up. I don't have to worry about that. Congratulations, Colin.
You will win a ha. You will win a ha.
That's it. You are a winner. Next week, we're going to be doing the Transformers 1 in 50 variant for, I don't know, number 8, number 9, something like that. I'm a little behind on those. By any chance, did you see any of that that comic book news that's been going on? Oh, wait, let me put this up. Comic book news.
Sure.
Joe Casey.
Yep.
Joe Casey has a Substack that he just started up the other day, and I have the link in the description for that. And New York City Comic Con jumped up a day. They were supposed to be Thursday, but now they're doing Wednesday for retailers or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, but yeah, no, they have some stuff. I saw what was it? They were doing what was it? It was I know some people were already like setting up today instead of like Wednesday because of that, which is crazy to me, but whatever.
Yeah, I bet that's going to be a lot of fun. I hated those early days. I mean, when I first was able to get into them, it was like a big deal, but then it wasn't really quick.
Yeah,
leaving them was much more exciting, I think. Getting pounced on by Jim Valentino about some book that he's selling is not really, exciting.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do, right?
And then, it's just being a kid, and then lastly, just today announced that at New York City Comic Con, they're going to announce that there is going to be a revival of Atlas Comics. Did you see this post by any chance?
I did see that post. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that.
So Atlas Seaboard is going to be a thing again, I guess, but it said it was Walmart exclusive, and then there's all these other things that are going on. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is on that, but find out more.
Pardon me? Heavy Metal's back too.
Heavy Metal's back?
Yeah, they just announced they're back now too.
Can't they even wait for the convention? I mean,
I guess not. I guess they
So
can't.
I mean, it got bumped up to Wednesday, and they're announcing it a day, 2 days before or 1 day before. You got to get the jump on it. Seriously, I would think that telling people in comic books that Atlas Seaboard is going to be a thing again is probably a good day to let us know on a Tuesday.
Sure.
Yeah, Jesus. Like, I mean, who really cares, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, all the kids love Atlas and know all the characters and
Yeah, if you remember some character that reminds you of like Iron Fist or a Charlton character or some sort of Punisher character, a couple of not Conan characters. What is it? Wolf, WULF, I think.
oh, maybe,
It's hard to remember, but it's like there's one like Planet of the Vampires, I think. There was one that was like the Tarantula, if I recall, and they had really good people working on them. There was Chaykin for an issue, and Dicko, and all sorts of people working on those books. But a lot of Filipino illustrators that we love over at DC, were working over at that Atlas company for a minute because it only lasted like 3 issues. 3 months worth of comics, and that was about it. So I think it's funny. That's the news. All right. We should say hi to everybody. And you know how we do that with a
Hi,
video
everybody.
clip, of course. Hi, everybody.
Hello. 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 Oh. Look out. Hello.
The video clips are good because I fidget and I knock something over. And so having them allows me a chance to get resituated. All right. Pouring a beer, everybody.
Woo.
Thanks for joining us, Joe. You said that you wanted to get a hold of Final Cut by Charles Burns.
Yeah.
And you weren't able to get one yet. What happened? What happened to your comic store?
So I ordered it like 2.5 weeks ago from In Stock Trades, and they just shipped it.
In Stock Later Trades.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll pick stuff up from them. I went to the stores around here. They didn't have it, so I was like,
there wasn't one foofy store that had it. Foofy comic store.
Kind of crazy. Just around me at least. Yeah, I went to a few. Yeah, I still picked up stuff at the stores because I'm one of those guys. I'm like, I gotta buy something from a shop. I can't just go into a comic shop and buy nothing. Enough people do that. So
yeah, I never can. I have to always buy something now. Like it's just I have to. Sometimes it's a pop vinyl. If it glows in the dark, or something like that, it definitely has a chance.
Yeah, but yeah, so I should have that soon. But I've been going through a bunch of issues of Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children.
Excellent. How did you? It was issues you said you bought of that?
Yeah, I just went on eBay. I was talking with a buddy of mine, ML Miller, and he brought it up, and I was like, I haven't thought about that in years. So I just grabbed like a lot of like, a bunch of issues.
Wow, that's awesome. How much did they cost?
I got about 20 issues for like $50.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I'd at least be charging $5 each for them, at least.
Yeah, because they're not easy to find. And it's great stuff.
We might possibly be talking about that in a few minutes.
Yeah,
so
but no, just that stuff. Before I was going through Legion Lost again.
Legion Lost, that was the Abnett and Lanning with Olivier Copiel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get that.
Andy is.
Yeah, it's yeah, I really like this story. That their run on Legion for me was one of the last like I thought like good runs of Legion.
So they had a story, and I hate to say it, but it probably won't be called it in the title, like the Great Darkness Saga. They
Yeah.
had a hook,
Yeah.
and not after Legion lost when they got their regular storyline going on. And I
Yeah.
love that hook. That was like that was one of the last great ones, I think, actually.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So you didn't like any of the Mark Wade stuff?
Here's the thing. I
No, you
think
can say it sucks.
no, I liked, you know, some of like the earlier stuff that he did with Legion and like but not as much. Like for me, Legion, you know, I love it all to some extent. You know, I'm just happy to see it. I feel the same way with like Doctor Who. There's a bunch of eras of Doctor Who I don't love, but I'm like, yeah, it's we're still getting Doctor Who, so it's something. So that's how I feel with the Legion. But for me, basically from the Silver Age, so like Adventure 247, straight through, you know, 5 years later, I think is fantastic. Then you can skip to the Dan Abbott, Andy Lanning stuff, and you're good. That's it.
Yeah. Uh, hold on. I'm gonna get back to Legion in just a second.
Yeah.
I apologize. I did have one more apology. Shit, I didn't know. Where's the Phoenix option in the poll? I finally have a poll and I screwed up. I'm so sorry. What is your favorite fall of the or from the Ashes X-Men? They only gave me 4 options, and I needed to put something stupid at the end. So you have 3 choices or 4. You can make that's your Phoenix option. Phoenix along with NYX, along with Wolverine. That's the really part.
Sure.
Dwayne Muth, welcome back, Yul, and hello at everyone in chat. Not hello to Joe.
It's fine.
Was that Aaron Lepresti behind Aaron Sparrow? Why, yes, it was. How's your father? In fact, I have an Aaron Lepresti also, but you know, I only pull that out when when I need people to know that there's the most important comic book creators ever on talking about this. Not John Romita Jr. But yeah, we got one for him. We have this really great one with fucking what's that dude's name who pissed everybody off that colored Superman.
Gabe something.
And he has a banner for freaking Superman. What's the Superman? It's the right-wing Superman. Hawaiian guy. Is he Hawaiian? The guy that went to Yale? Shit, I can't remember his name. Not Keanu Reeves. Perch called. He wants his Joe back. Hey, I listened to the Perch show with you.
Yeah,
that was a fun one. I like that conversation about comic book classics that should be dumped for these other, and then picked up these other ones, and it was a good conversation. I liked it. You guys should all check it out. I didn't link to it. Continue. Watch Yul's going to get his stream canceled again. We're lingering on the Three Amigos just a bit too long. How dare you? Know that's golden. That one. That is a tried and true to AOK clip. It's the Seinfeld and some of the other ones that get me. Unreadable X-Men, Dwayne Moose says. Uncanny has great art. I totally agree. No one should aspire to be Rich Johnston. Well, I'm a little old to be the Rich Johnston. I don't want to. I mean, like, what do you think? Like in the comic book, totem pole, you got your fans, you got your retailers, you got your creators, you got your hacks, you got people that aspire for greatness, artists, all the people. Where, like, comic book retailer, and then comic book journalist, right? Those are like two of the like maybe fans are right after that. That's the end.
Perhaps.
I don't want to care about ranking the tops. I just want to know who's above where at the bottom, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Who's your favorite comic book journalist?
A
past or a present, you know.
No, I mean it's always it's tough. Favorite. I guess I think what was it? Let me see, because I've known a few. I guess Noah Shorma was a journalist at Comic On for a while, and he edited The Neverending Party for me at Comixology Originals, and is now an editor at Marvel. So I think Noah's great. And then
have you ever seen this book before, LOC?
I don't think I have.
I think I actually paid like 10 or 15 bucks for it. So
nice.
This has Carol Kalish in it, Kurt Busiek, Peter Gillis, Dawn and Maggie Thompson, huh? Classics right there, Dawn and Maggie Thompson.
Yeah.
They talk. I had to buy it because they talk about the Miss Marvel number 200.
Nice.
And I needed to know what was being said at the time, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
what was it? Leah McGuire's has a site, Comics Frontier, and they've written for a few places, but they interviewed me on the the Pride celebration, Rachel Pollack, and we might do another piece soon. So I appreciate Liam. And then I mean, in a way though, like what you do and Perch and Wes, I mean, that's all journalism to some extent.
I'm just a store owner talking to my customers.
Sure, but at least like I would think well, Wes is probably the one who's the most regularly putting out like news sort of stuff. So
sure,
I think you could count Wes in that. And
yeah, I don't doubt. I mean, the way things are, the dissemination, it happens the way they want it to happen, whether it's like through social media, and it's like, hey, here's this chum, and all you sharks go and run with it however you want to,
Yeah.
And it's kind of how it and I'm not, well, I'm sure Wes is okay. We call it shark.
Sure. Yeah. Why not?
He's such a ball buster, that Wes.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But yeah. Okay.
Okay. Archie versus Predator. That's didn't Archie die? Was that in an alternate universe? He'd gotten into a car accident, the Mark Waid one. Was it?
Yeah, but
no,
wasn't there
that was Betty, I think.
Yeah, but there was the death of Archie before the Mark Waid, Fiona Staples like reboot thing. And I think Paul Kupperberg wrote that one, I think.
Damn, that was a while ago. Joe lost weight while Batman ballooned.
It's true.
Okay. I've lost weight. I don't know if you know, but I let people know if I can, since we're talking about it,
Yeah, no. I don't really care. I mean, praise away, but it's...
Are you a fan of NYX by any chance? Spider Guy Diggler.
I know Jackson. We hang out at shows, and I'm going to see him this weekend.
Jackson Lanning. So I don't want to get punched in the face. So it's my favorite book.
So Jackson's great.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, excellent. Well, it's selling out at my store. So,
great. No, that's awesome.
It's not my biggest seller, but I mean, I'm not disappointed in what's happening with it. So there's a couple other books I'm going to mention. That's one of the reasons why I mentioned Extraordinary X-Men in the poll. It's a little bit higher of numbers than the NYX, but now it looks like it's going to be like it's going to sell well, at least for a little while.
Yeah, that's good.
These are deep wrestling cuts. Thanks,
I
Ollie.
will say from that one before, I have not seen Joker 2 yet. I saw the first Joker when that came out in theaters. I have seen Megalopolis though.
Oh, really?
I went to the theaters to see that. Yeah.
My buddy Rick Worley, you've been on the show with him. He did a video. He's actually been restructuring his videos so they can be monetized again. And but he has a Megalopolis one that he is sure to enrage a lot of people. Or, the people will love it, and then other people are going to hate it, whatever he's going to say.
Sure. No, I get it. But yeah, I also went to a screening of A Place in the Sun the other night. It's a George Stevens. It's a George Stevens movie. It's one of the 3 movies that Shelley Winters drowns in.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because it's
when she was like a sex pot.
She was definitely like a pot, but it was what was it? I think chronologically it was Night of the Hunter, then A Place in the Sun, and then Poseidon Adventure. I think was the last time she drowned on film.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Poseidon Adventure. Jill and I have watched that one.
I love Poseidon Adventure.
You bullshit them.
Oh no, but it's but Gene Hackman in any movie in the 70s.
What is he, like a priest in that? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's
he's great though.
Those were very popular movies when I was a kid growing up.
Yeah, I mean the best movie, like I mean for anything with Gene Hackman in the 70s, I think is great, but for me, it's probably a tie between The Conversation and French Connection in terms of like the best Gene Hackman 70s movie.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like I saw fun with Poseidon Adventure. I mean, it's insane. But,
it's very fun for sure. Yeah. Can't anyone make a Substack? Well, yes, anybody can. Anybody can charge. Think about it this way. Where did all those journalists go after all? Well, they went to Substack and every other platform. But, Joe Casey likes to ramble on about things and let you know about inner workings and behind the scenes. You might say he's like a comic creator letting you know. He's breaking kayfabe. This is the new cartoonist kayfabe, but in letter format.
Yeah.
In a journal. With pictures. He said that he's going to. All right, so check this out. So Perch had an interview with him.
Yeah.
He said that he drew in the interim from one Avengers story that George Perez drew to the next. So a monthly book. He got 11 pages done trying to finish like what would have happened or something like that. And he's going to publish that on his Substack, and it's going to be free until he starts charging you. So, let him know what you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Lane's here. Hey there,
Hi,
Mr.
Lane.
Yule and Mr. Joe. That was Yule's disclaimer. Yeah. I'm getting through these guys. Hopefully heavy metal isn't a letdown like Playboy has been. Penthouse. I don't think there's a Playboy right now. Is there? You know how Playboy would be a letdown if it was exactly like Playboy.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm just joking. Atlas figures will be a huge seller. Yeah, man, 70-year-olds all over the place. That's the 70-year-old comic book fan. Joe, are you in your closet? Jolly wants to know.
No, it's a small room that I'm in, but it's like you're in New York. You don't want to like gotta work.
Oh shit. Okay, so I want everybody to know this was not me. I was being super straight with all this. Lane Kramer, this is really a super chat question. Seriously.
Sure.
So I know Joe is part of the LGBTQ plus community. Are you really part of the community?
I'm a part of the community, yeah.
Okay. Did you feel very empowered by the lyrics of that song from Dazzler and Dazzler #1? I don't know if you know about it, but there was a five verse song. That would have been like a 7-minute song, probably.
No, there was, and I did read it. So,
Dazzler or the song?
I read the issue, but I also, I read I read the whole thing. So
I don't know who wrote that book. Do you remember? By any
it's
chance?
was it Jason Loo or something like that? LOO, I want to say, but I had a friend. I've had some friends text me. People who some people who weren't a part of the community telling me like they finally read the worst X book from this era, from the Ashes. I had a friend text me on Saturday who is non-binary, and I will read this. Saturday, I got this text at 3:46 p.m. I'm late to the party, but I just read Dazzler #1. Talk about a tired idea. Also, a lyricist the writer is not. Felt really bad. So
awesome. That sounds like the realest comment you could possibly expect to hear.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I feel like it is very rare when a comic book writer writes a really good song in a comic book. It's hard for a person to imagine the song, how it's going to sound. And anytime you like have to leave more imagination to the reader as a writer, that might be difficult, don't you think?
No, I mean, part of it too is like, I don't know about how other people feel, but like, I don't know how someone puts themselves in a position like that and doesn't feel a deep level of embarrassment. Like, I would be deeply embarrassed to write write long song lyrics that like aren't that aren't just quoting other songs, like to come up with sort of my own songs, unless I had written like an actual song that was meant to be played or something like that. I am the only one of my siblings who isn't in music in some way or another. So I feel like if I was put in that position, I would have access to people that I could talk to about that and put out something that's not embarrassing. But that wasn't it. No.
Yeah. Okay. Jill wants to know, and this leads into a question I was gonna. So Jill was like, I think Joe talked about this before, and I said, really, I don't really remember. And then as the day went on, I was like, oh, maybe he did. So either she implanted it in my head, or you did actually talk about Doctor Who.
Sure.
Does anybody listen to the Big Finish Doctor Who? She recommends Jill the 8th Doctor Adventures.
I like the 8th Doctor Adventures a lot. Chimes of Midnight was one of my favorites. I also really liked Invaders from Mars. The companion for a lot of the earlier stuff, I think Charlie is pretty good. But yeah, Chimes of Midnight's also a Christmas one, so like it's about that time of year. You can pick up Chimes of Midnight. Listen to that. I think it's stellar. So,
and if you have a main Spotify account that you actually pay money for, there's those Big Finish books on Spotify, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm a big the 5th Doctor is one of my favorites. So there's a few like
is that the one with the funny hat?
He's the one with the celery.
Oh.
But there's some with him, and they got Sarah Sutton back, who played Nyssa. And one of the best ones I think they ever did was one of the earlier ones, Spare Parts, which is like a Cyberman origin story, and that's actually written by Mark Platt, who wrote some 7th Doctor stories. I believe he wrote Ghostlight, which is one of my favorite 7th Doctor stories from season 26.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Also, Landry Walker came in my store, and I mentioned your name, and he said, "Oh, we do a podcast together about Doctor Who," and I was like, "What? I can't believe I didn't know this."
It's because no one listens to it. It's called Mad Men in a Box. It's with Jimmy.
Jimmy Quirk.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know his real last name, but yeah.
You know, whatever it is. But like Jimmy started with it, but now he's like too famous doing stand-up or whatever to really be a part of
Is
it.
he really?
He does. He's focusing a lot on stand-up right now.
Sure.
Which is crazy because when I look at Jimmy, I feel like he's more of a sit-down guy. But you know, thank you.
All right.
But, yeah.
I pressured Lane into this. Hey, Mr. Joe and Yule for $5. Is this the first 30 issues of McKay's Moon Knight Omni worth picking up? I started reading with Vengeance of Moon Knight. Have you read any of Jed McKay's Moon Knight by any chance?
Yeah, I liked it.
So I actually enjoyed before he died.
Yeah,
him and Tigra like having like a relationship. I thought it's pretty cool. He adds to the cast of characters. It's not the cast of characters that you expect to see in a normal Moon Knight series.
Yeah.
There's still, of course, the whole Khonshu bit, and then of course, you know, dying and coming back and whatever they're doing these days. I have no idea. But I mean, I've read more of the first 30 than any of them.
Yeah, same here. I think it's definitely probably in that like top 25% of what Marvel's been putting out. Like,
here's a secret, Lane. Make your comic store order it for you with a significant discount. Because if they weren't going to, unless they already ordered, see, that's how I would do it for something I wouldn't normally order. If you're going to get it in, now, no, we're not talking about me shipping to you. That's different. But if you're getting it into the store and it's in print, Penguin Random House ships free. So there's no reason for the store to really, you know, kind of rake you over the coals for that one. So as long as it's available, you try and work a deal. I bet that guy is going to be, that gal, whoever, is going to be happy to take just a little bit less when they weren't going to make anything at all. And they won't lose any money shipping. So it's a win-win on that one.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Dazzler, if she's so unpopular with comic book fans, why did they add her as one of 6 playable characters in a 90s X-Men arcade game?
That was because of the Pride of the X-Men. There were only that many characters in the show, so that's why she was in there.
Yeah, if the thing's like Omnis are like 125, 150, thin ones are like $100. Usually Marvel's more expensive than anybody because they're Marvel. You know, if like there's a $25 DC book and the same book comes out for Marvel, it'd be $30 or 45 or 50 now.
Yeah, but like you'll like what you're trying to say is like because Lane's saying you know, and Amazon can get it for 80. Like you might, if you have a good relationship with your shop, they might be able to sell it to you for 80 if they're ordering it. So
For sure. I mean, especially if I wasn't going to get it anyway. You know, after the fact, you don't get burned on ordering it anyway for a store. If they have a Marvel account, then they should be getting it through Penguin. I mean, if they have a Penguin Random House account, they're going to be making more money on it than if they would getting it from Diamond. So that's just the way it is. But there's probably a lot of stores still that are clinging to that Diamond thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got it. Well, yeah. And then, you know, of course, Amazon. But, you know, maybe your store's dicks.
Yeah, no, it all depends on, you know, who's around, what's available.
Damn, I already finished that beer. We're in trouble.
Oh, no.
Okay, we're an hour in. Joe, you're going to New York Comic Con.
I am.
I mean, you're in New York anyway, right?
It's
this is
true.
your con. You strut your stuff like a peacock, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you know, it's nice, you know, it's people reach out to me going like, Joe, I'm going to be in town. We should get together at some point. It's nice.
Yeah.
You know?
That's all. Where are you going to be in the con? Are you going to be working officially? Are you going to be at the Mad Cave booth or anything like that?
I'll be at Mad Cave booth a bit, like whether I'm like I'll be hanging out there a bunch probably, but like I have a signing on Sunday. I'm on one of their panels on Saturday. But I will be at the show, like wandering around, seeing people in Artist Alley, and just like connecting with people. Like, I have a few friends who are going to be in town from, all over the world. I know there's going to be a few people from Ireland I want to see. A buddy of mine from
Who's from Ireland? Oh,
Australia.
buddies. Pals
Yeah,
from
just
Ireland or comic book creators from Ireland?
they're comic book creators, but they're like friends like that I connected with when I was in Dublin in March, and so that my friend Liana Kangas, like she'll be at the show, so I'll get to catch up with her. The Vault team will be there. I'll hang out with some of them. I'll see Andrea
Person who did
Shea.
that cover.
Yeah, right. Well, what was it? Andrea Shea, who was my editor on the DC Pride celebration with Rachel Pollack, will be at the show, so I'll catch up with her. Trying to think, there's going to be a lot of people who'll be nice to.
You got any announcements you're going to make at New York Comic Con? I mean, is like DC going to
There
finally pull that?
I should have one announcement on like I think Saturday, but yeah, things will be moving along. Usually like people from Dynamite like Nick Barucci are either at the show or like hanging out in the city, so I'll probably connect with him at some point, things like that, because there's a lot of people sometimes that don't really feel like going to the show proper, like Garth Ennis, for example. Like he'll be out at the bars like hanging out, but like he doesn't really do the show. That's usually what he does. But yeah,
do you think Garth
nice.
Ennis is like the most happy person in the world when like cigarettes were outlawed in bars? It's like I thought he was like an anti-smoker guy, right? That was his first Hellblazer story.
Yeah.
But he's like a drinker guy too, so like
he loves drinking. Yeah.
So like he probably was the one who was spearheading that more than anybody. I feel. Was Garth Ennis involved?
No, but
sorry, I derailed that. So you're gonna, but you're gonna have an announcement, really? What do I have to follow you on to find out about this stuff?
Oh, I mean, I'm on.
You don't tweet that much. You just repost. That's what you do.
I tweet and post on Instagram only when there's like an announcement. So like,
so Instagram's the place to be for Joe stuff.
Yeah, I technically have a Blue Sky too, but like that's dead. No one cares. That's awful. That's an
Blue
awful
Sky's
site.
lame.
But
I might as well be on Truth Social if I was on Blue Sky.
Yeah, it's terrible. But no, God, someone sent me God, I gotta find it, but they sent me this like thing about Blue Sky where it was like it's a fun place to hang out with like a bunch of unemployed journalists or something like that. Like, it was funny, but no, I'm trying to think, but yeah, there's tons of people. Like Eric Palicki is a good buddy of mine. He'll be at the show. We're gonna get lunch tomorrow because he gets in town tomorrow. That'll be nice. I'm gonna see Drew tomorrow, and I'll see him at the show a bunch. I'm sure. Maybe we'll get dinner tomorrow or something. It'd be nice, to see Drew and catch up with him. I haven't really gotten to see him much this year at shows. And then there might be some other people too. Maybe Murphy, if she's going to be there, that'd be nice. But yeah, and Aaron.
Aaron. Are you gonna be hanging out with him by any chance? Are you gonna be hanging out with Joe Casey by any chance?
He's
gonna be there too, right?
If Joe's there, I will see him. Yeah, for sure.
Joe and Joe right there. Boom.
Yeah, but no, Aaron will. I was trying to see like, because he's out on the left coast, like with you. So I like.
It's gonna be hard though. He's gonna be like on point shilling like crazy, probably, huh?
Oh, I'm sure.
Like 100%, probably.
Yeah.
I know how cons are. They're crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, definitely.
So you're going to be at the Mad Cave booth, but it's not going to. But you're going to be at a panel and a signing. What were those going to be again?
Yeah, the panel. It's the Saturday morning cartoon panel at 11 a.m. on Saturday. So people could check that out, and then for the
And what is that going to
signing,
entail? What's that one?
I'm going to talk about like King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, but they're going to
Okay.
talk about Gotcha Man and some of the other stuff. My editor on King Arthur is also going to be at the panel, and this is going to be the first time I'm actually going to meet her. So that'll be nice to meet her in person. And then Sunday, we're doing like a group signing. It's like a bunch of the Maverick authors, so it's going to be like me, Jeremy Whitley, a few other people, Jenny Wood, signing from like 2 to 3 at their booth on Sunday.
Maverick authors? What do you mean?
Well, it's the Maverick imprints, the YA imprint.
Oh, I see. Very good.
So the authors of so they're clustering, a bunch of us.
That makes sense for sure.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
What do you think about this? And it's hard to say that with comic books already being like so heavily IP. Like how do they stick around? It's got to be like they sell shirts and belt buckles and stuff like that. Even when I was a kid, but there is like a proliferation of media comic books, maybe more than any other time I can remember. I mean,
yeah,
has it ever been like this?
I'm not gonna say it's been exactly like this, but when comics were coming out of that like slump in the 90s and the early 2000s, you had the G.I. Joe and Transformers comics do a real big push, and those were also selling big in the very early 2000s. But yeah, it feels like around then, but up a notch. But it's comparable to that, I think. That's probably the closest it's been.
I mean, unless like, those Bob Hope comics and those Jerry Lewis comic books that were out there at one time, Roy Rogers. I mean, there was always something like that, but like I can't imagine. Could you imagine like, oh, we're going to have a White Stripes comic and it's going to be them like running around making music and having adventures?
Yeah, but there's always been some element like that, but at the same time, some of the ones you were mentioning like that, those were like on the newsstand.
Right.
And that was before the the direct market. So for the like direct market era, I would say like, yeah, this is like unlike what it had been really probably ever in that era and the past like 45 years or whatever it is. But yeah, it's it does seem like a race for licenses. There's probably going to be more coming in. They're going to, but it always works this way though, right?
Yeah, I mean, you mean like copycatting and stuff like that?
Well, in terms of copycatting, and then like people do it until they completely drive it into the ground and everyone's losing money, and then they'll stop.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So I'm like to the point where I'm like, they all have to die. No offense. If you're working on another one in the future or whatever, it's not really anything against anybody.
No, of course.
And obviously I want people to like put forth, their best effort and things like that. And I never personally was like really into Star Wars comics or Star Trek comics unless Peter David was working on them. There was G.I. Joe and things like that, but not a lot of it. But I know there's like some people, they love the Turtles, and to them, the Turtles is the Turtles that left me behind, when I was a child.
Yeah.
But there are a few comics that are out there. Obviously, anything, Casey writes, anything Joe here does, I pay attention to.
I think Johnny
that's loyalties.
Good.
Which one?
Johnny Quest from Joe Casey.
I think for sure. And I'm a Johnny Quest fan, totally. But when I heard Thundar is going to be one, I was like, they can't fuck that one up. I'm going to be really upset. And it's not even
But,
that
yeah.
I'm super into like Thundar lore. What you got to do is you got to make Thundar better than Thundar was, because if you just fucking phone it in, and let me tell you, there's a few out there that people phoned it in, and I was like, holy shit, this is not good stuff at all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name your friend's comic or anything like that. No, I'm just joking. Thundar needs to be solid. You know what I mean? I'm going to be very upset.
No, for sure.
And
No,
none of this
absolutely.
fire and ice bullshit either, where like it doesn't
Yeah.
come out for a year, you know? And
Yeah, no, that's a bit crazy, but no, I have been liking Space Ghost from Pepos.
okay.
I
I
do think
hadn't
that's
read it,
been
but
yeah,
it was so
it's solid.
serious. I feel like I
Yeah,
already
but
read the
like
Joe Kelly one, so I'm, you know, it's kind of like I
no,
love
no, I get it.
Space Ghost, but I want more kitschy personally these days.
No, I get it. But like it's weird because like it feels like and you might agree, I think some other people agree, like everything's either deadly serious or the humor doesn't hit and it's like odd and alienating, or it feels either dated or how you doing fellow kids and stuff like that. And it's like there's not a lot of comics right now that are coming out that are funny but feel fresh. I feel like maybe W. Maxwell Prince, with like the Ice Cream Man, haha, like some of that stuff, like that dark humor that works for me. But Swan Song's a bit too serious. I still like it, but
yeah, it was all right. It was cool.
But I mean, but yeah, because everything it's that or it's I guess Mark Russell's one of the other ones that people point to, and
he makes me laugh. I like him a lot.
I really liked Not All Robots, and there's a few others that I think were really like in terms of like just this pure
Ooh, Not
comedy.
All Robots was very good.
Yeah,
I
love Not All Robots, but yeah, there's just yeah, I don't know, for people don't seem to really get humor in comics, and it's tough. I get it, but
it's been a while. I mean, Hate came out recently, and that's funny, but he's not telling gags like you would expect. We were talking about Archie earlier. Why isn't there an ongoing Archie? There's nobody that writes gags in comics quite that way anymore. And
yeah, no, I love that stuff. I guess like the bite-size Archie, like 1-2 punch kind of stuff that they put out, like that's cool. But I do love like give me like a Dan Parent drawn Archie with some gags and I'm all about it, sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be hot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people talking smack about Paul and the Amazing Spider-Man that Zeb Wells writes. Do you know who this character is? Who was like
I know who the character is.
He's not really a real person. He's not like he doesn't have a soul or anything, I don't think, right?
That's as far as I know, yeah. But it's
Are you down with John? I mean, do you think that Pete whatever his name was, Paul should stay alive, or is this like, and are there other characters in comics? Like personally for me, that Danny Chase character, anytime someone's slamming a character today, I'm like, you didn't have to live through the horror that Danny Chase was, because like he was in every issue. And we're talking like 50 issues,
No, but yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, I don't care for Paul, and I'm gonna be glad when he's gone, but yeah,
you want to
I
give
don't
that
know.
away? How would you write him out? Like just like the one sentence, gonna get rid of him. This is how you do it.
Oh, him being in this reality doesn't work, and he's deteriorated because he can't survive outside his reality is from for that long, and poof, gone.
That's great. I like it.
Right.
Maybe there could be this part where Peter's like trying to save him, but the only way he can do it is to convince Mary Jane that he is a character, he is real. But Peter's like, fuck that shit.
I mean, sure, it works too.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Anyhow. We're going to talk about wait, anything else you want to tell me? And what do I need to know about Joe? What's going on?
Let's see. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, but what was it? I don't know. I wish I had more time to watch more horror movies this October. I'm gonna get around to some more, but yeah, what was it? I'm trying to think. What else?
We watched the
I mean,
Twin Peaks pilot the other day.
nice.
I love that pilot.
Me-
I think it's like
Yeah.
masterfully done.
Yeah.
It's like satirical about, the soap operas of the evening.
Yep.
It's funny. It's
Mhm.
funny in parts where it shouldn't be funny. It's maybe serious in those parts also. And it's like,
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig that pilot a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't
No.
watch anything else.
No, but I mean, I watched some. Like, I watched Last House on the Left. I watched Dario Argento's Inferno. I always got to do an Argento film around
Okay.
Halloween. I showed a buddy of mine Nightmare on Elm Street 3 because he'd never seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crazy, right?
The one with the D&D kid and
Yeah.
the wheelchair and everything.
Oh yeah,
Elaine
yeah.
just watched The Thing on Prime last night. Such an
Oh,
awesome movie.
nice. I'm probably gonna watch The Thing because it's been a while before
We saw it
the end of the
recently.
season. But
We're watching Hannibal right now. Do you watch that by any chance? Have you ever watched that?
I watched a little bit of it when it was coming on, but I was friends with too many people who were like really into it, and like
Okay.
my personality when I'm around too many people who are like, "Oh my god, you got to watch this," is to just be like, no.
I can't stand you. I know. I totally am the battery. Whoop.
Yeah, but yeah, it's what was it? As long as you weren't watching the movie Hannibal, that was terrible. I watched that in
No.
theaters.
All right.
It was
So
awful.
first two seasons of Hannibal, I think are great, but the third one, I think it's just really a stretch. But
Yeah.
I thought it was that Mickelson guy. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's so great.
No, Mads Mikkelsen's great, but I did watch I watched was it Blood Feast, which is considered one of the first like sort of over the top gore exploitation kind of movies. Watched was it Jason Takes Manhattan. So
that movie.
Yeah, no, it's
I saw
great.
that in the theater.
He they shoot a few minutes in Manhattan. It's crazy, but
yeah, only a few
yeah,
minutes.
right. I watched was it Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. I watch that like every year.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I
Yeah.
like when all of them are involved, actually. All the Universal monsters, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's wonderful. I love that. Oh, I watched the original Invader. Was it Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Ooh, dude, I do not like the Donald Sutherland one, but
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I should watch it again now that I'm older. But
Yeah.
that first one, oh boy, that is I love that movie. It's great.
I love it. It's so much fun. Yeah, just some great stuff. I try to, like if there's enough time before bed or something, I'm like, oh, let me watch a horror movie. I can do that because I'm not 8. I know some people
Right.
who are like, oh, I can't watch a horror movie. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're like 40. What are you talking about? Like, but
So, how old were you, and what was it the last time you were like, "Fuck, that movie freaked me out"?
I'm trying to think when the last time it was, because like the thing when I remember that movies didn't do that to me anymore was the Blair Witch Project.
Mhm.
I remember
Definitely,
rented
for
it
sure.
from like a Blockbuster or whatever, and like I think I'm trying to think. I must have been in like high school or whatever, but like it was like no one was home. I was like by myself. Turned off all the lights, put it on, and like did fucking nothing for me. And like that was the moment where like it never came back. You know what I mean? Where I was just like, oh, this is the scary movie everyone's talking. I'm like, that what? All right. And that really that and I'm trying to think of anything else because, like, I mean, a few years later, like seeing The Ring in theaters and like having a friend of mine being like, "Oh man, like that like really messed with me. I couldn't sleep." I was like, "What are you talking about? Like I slept like a baby after watching
I
that." What do
think
you?
I think Battle Buddy asked if what was your what horror comic book do you like? Is there a horror comic book that you like?
I mean, I love any like really good horror comics. I love a lot of the pre-code stuff, of course, where
Okay.
you know just random stories and some of the stuff right as the code was happening. Like I have that all the hardcovers of Voodoo, the pre-code stuff, or like right around the code too. Like it. I think the code was implemented like at the end of that run, but like those are some really cool comics. But um, I, tough because like there's so many things I want to say, but I just feel like such a basic bitch. Just being
Oh
like,
well,
oh,
tell me one basic bitch comic that you're like, oh, that's the one I picked.
Uzumaki. I think it's really
Oh
good.
well, yeah, sure. Anything is anything Ito is
Junji Ito.
great.
Yeah, no, I love Junji Ito. So like, but I feel like such an asshole now, being like, oh, I love Junji
The
Ito because I
majority
really
of people wouldn't know, though.
that's
That's
fair.
the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the majority of like it's not even in Japan. Really,
Yeah.
that's what people in America don't realize.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's a lot of other like
Still comic books.
like good horror manga, like Drifting Classroom's really good.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
What else? But if you count, I think you could count some of the French stuff, like Beautiful Darkness, Satania, Beauty, those French graphic novels, all fantastic and have a lot of horror elements. And Beauty's like a slight stretch, but like not really. I mean, it's pretty horrific. But Satania and Beautiful Darkness are definitely like horror comics. So I would definitely say those are some of my favorites. I put Sweet Tooth up there.
Oh, okay. I
A
feel like
bunch
it's
of
a little bit more survivalist, but whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Wait,
like
we're
but
talking about the same one, right?
yeah, no, Jeff Lemire like straddles that line with horror a bit. Like Underwater Welder is like it's
Mm,
kind of like a Twilight Zone episode. I think you
mhm.
could kind of count it. Obviously, like Alan Moore's Swamp Thing up to a certain point before it becomes like a sci-fi book.
Mhm.
But like early on, but also, really the Len Wein, Bernie Wrightson Swamp Thing stuff, fantastic. Some of
Excellent.
that
Well,
early Ghost Rider stuff is also pretty
okay.
fun.
All right. Sandman, I mean, there was definitely some Sandman stuff that was like that. The
Oh, that
Soul
diner.
Real convention, the diner,
Yeah,
yeah.
the diner issue I think is absolutely fantastic. And there's a few other things from there's there are moments in Grant's Doom Patrol that are like a
Mhm.
horror book that I really like. There's a few like standout Scarecrow stories. There's that
Oh, yeah.
one what was it? Doug Mensch and like Gene Colan, like it was around like Batman 373, but it was like a two-parter. It was a detective and Batman. You get like a
Mhm.
Scarecrow origin in that. Like having Gene Colan do a Scarecrow story is just phenomenal.
I agree. I agree. I bet I bet the alley his parents were killed comes into play.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
seemed like every story was like that back then. Did you ever read any of the Wildstorm property horror books? They did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I think they did like a Nightmare on Elm. No, maybe a Friday the 13th. I can't remember what it was, but
I'm not sure. I
those
mean,
were
I
pretty
read
good.
that. I don't think I did. I think I've read some of those like Marvel, like I think the Marvel Nightmare on Elm Street. I think like Rich Buckler drew one of
Really,
those.
I didn't know that.
Like I remember that. What was it? Some of the Clive Barker stuff. But I can't believe I forgot this, but the Skybound Universal Monster stuff I've really been enjoying.
Oh, those are really. I mean, I only read the beginning of the Dracula, but quality work being put into those. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Frankenstein one really good. I
Yeah, I got
really
people
dig
hot for
book.
that right now. I had to
Yeah,
reorder. Yeah.
that is a really good book. And
Cool.
I think if someone if you like Frankenstein and you want like a sort of a different take, like absolutely, I really recommend that one. I think it's a great book.
All right. I don't think we're going to be able to talk about new comics that are coming out. So let's talk about some books that came out last week really quick. This is just the best of last week. It usually has to do with sales or something that I really enjoy and I want to let people know about. Starting up, we sold out of Fantastic Four, number 26. Ryan North on the writing, as he has been since the beginning, and doing really well.
I've kind of like this run.
Me too. I've only read.
I'm behind, but yeah,
I'm behind. I got caught up with the aliens going to choke Johnny Storm story, and I just kind of skipped past the blood hunt stuff. I know the kids are back now, so if you're kind of like out of it because of that, there have been things happening. Johnny Storm still has that stupid mustache, though.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
The aforementioned Jeff Lemire with Minor Arcana number 2 before his DC work starts. This is a boom book, and I still have yet to read number 1.
I do want to read that. I always prefer when Jeff Lemire does his own books, like when he's not working with another artist. He works with some good artists, and there's plenty of times he's collaborated with stuff and it's good, but like my go-to with Jeff Lemire is like, oh, if it's like Fish Flies, I was like, yes, I'm picking that up because he's drawing it too, and all.
Amen. That. I totally agree. He's great. I'm just behind on reading stuff, and it's not all in or anything like that.
No, I'm behind on reading some stuff, but also I'm reading all the time. I finally like one thing that from Jeff Lemire I had never read. Was Essex County, and I finally did that.
Well, I've never read that either.
Yeah, I did that like a month or so ago. Like I was just at a shop. When I'm at Fourth World is a shop on Long Island I love and highly recommend them. But if you're on Long Island, and they just had it there, and I was like, I was trying to think of something to buy, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just buy this, read it, finally have it done, and it was good. I really liked it.
Nice. I read some of it, but that was back when it was in smaller format and it was pieced out. Did you ever read I think it was called Roughneck? The one about the Canadian hockey player who's just like a real, he like gets fired, he can't come back in the league because he gets really violent and he has to go back home and he finds out he has his kid and all this stuff. And it's a super emotional dude story. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Transformers. It's good.
Are you reading this? I
am also behind, but I can't believe that there's like a decent Transformers book in 2024. Like the fuck's happening?
That's what Thundar needs to be. That's what I expect from Thundar. Okay, don't do Thundar if you ain't gonna do a Transformers style.
And that's a great cover. When I was little, when I was like 4 years old, I would take I had a Starscream and a Cobra Commander that I would just like take everywhere with me.
Like that? Oh, they're the bad guys. You had the bad guys.
They were the bad guys. Like, but it's all like queer coding stuff. So like, I knew I was gay at a young age. Like,
Starscream. I mean, I got the high voice.
Starscream and Cobra Commander are pretty gay, right? Like,
I guess he has a lisp, Cobra Commander, but it could be the snake thing, So
yeah, but like they do that kind of stuff where like like he's never trying to like settle down or anything. It's like,
and we know that like Baroness ain't coming home with the Cobra Commander. But
no, her and Destro, right? Like that's where that was going. But...
Did you know that the Baroness is like burned on her entire body? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I do now.
No, it's okay. But no, like like it's just like I'm sure like Baroness and Destro had a lot of lunches together, just being like, say he's gay, right?
He's gay, right?
Like,
they're just eating eggs. Action Comics number 1070 is the first part of a continuously weekly action series written by Mark Waid and other people in backup. Clayton Crane, or no, whatever his name is. Somebody, Henry Clayton, I don't know.
Sure.
Is the artist. Good art. It looks really good.
Nice.
This is a solid story. I liked it a lot.
I still need to read that because I'm a big like again Legion fan. I got like Monell's and something. I gotta read it. Like
that's the issue that came out this week, just to let you know. So
okay.
Yeah. And lastly, oh my God, 2 DC books in the top 5. Absolute Batman by Scott Snyder, and the guy who deserves it. Well, I mean, I don't know. He could be a real cad these days and age. I have no idea. But as far as like his artwork is concerned, the guy who deserves it, Nick Dragotta. Holy cow, he does some amazing paneling in this book. There's a couple of scenes that if you can lean into them and enjoy it, you're gonna really dig this Batman, I think, a lot.
Yeah, the art. Yeah, the art's great.
The art's great.
The art's fantastic.
He sets it up story-wise so that the art can be good also. So in the very least, I feel like Scott Snyder has a good he can write a good story so that an excellent artist can really fly with it. I mean, he's worked with some really good people.
I love Scott. I've known him for years. I was at his Midtown Comics signing for the New 52 Batman #1 when that came out. Like I've been tracking that for a while. I'm kind of over militarized Alfred. I kind of just want.
I mean, he is anyway. I mean, I'm a Shakespearean actor who worked for the MIA or MI6 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just one of those things where I would just love I would love to go back to Alfred just like being a butler again. And just being like a caring dad like figure and not like badass. I feel like everyone has to be badass now. And I'm like, can we get back to just like Alfred just kind of being like Bruce, you shouldn't be out so late.
Can we just go back to Alfred being alive?
I would love to just go back to Alfred being alive. That would be.
I don't see how they're going to pull that one off. There was one other thing. How's Your Father says, I watched Piranha 1978 last night on Tubi, LOL. Have you ever seen Piranha?
I have not seen Piranha, but I love Tubi. There are so many great movies on Tubi. There's a lot of classics on Tubi too. Like it's kind of crazy.
Oh, really?
But yeah. So I watch a bunch of stuff on Tubi. It's great. It's free and there's ads, but like it's free. So like whatever.
It's free. Excellent. Yeah, I watch things with ads all the time. It's TV. I don't know.
Yeah, TV. But no, there's some good stuff. I think people don't sleep on Tubi, people.
Don't sleep on Tubi.
Check it out.
Speaking of Piranha, since he was talking about that movie, not planned at all, although this part was. We were going to talk about Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children because you weren't able to get your final cut. And I suggested a certain story. Now, I don't think we're going to actually be able to do a Mother's Basement on it, but maybe we could.
Yeah.
But why don't we talk about Piranha for a few moments if you think you're able to have
we could talk about it for a little bit. And then, maybe before the end of the year, I could come back and we could talk about Final Cut or...
Well, I need to get you back on. We got to talk about Final Cut. I need to get you and Landry on, and we got to talk about Doctor Who. Okay.
Oh, and Landry's going to be at Comic-Con. So
I know Landry's. So my buddy Emel's going to be there, and my customer buddy Emil is going to be there, and you should definitely say hi to him, especially if Landry is hanging out with him. And you guys should get together. He's a big pre-code Marvel Atlas guy.
Nice.
Maybe he'll enjoy the Seaboard stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no, maybe, but yeah, no. But geez, with one thing I do definitely want to plug with beautiful stories for ugly children. If you are reading things like Ice Cream Man, you would love Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children. And like you might not have ever heard about it. Like, do yourself a favor, go back issue diving, go on eBay, try to get just a handful of issues. They're all one and dones. You don't have to, there's no like real continuity, just like Ice Cream Man. There's just that kind of loose continuity, but there's even less so in Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children. And you will, there's something so beautiful about comics like that, and like some of these like underground comics in like the 70s and 80s and times where you're just like, you read these things and you're like, I can't believe something like this exists, and like it hits at a different level, and it's like, it's smart and it's dark and it's funny. And
I'm gonna show some covers while we talk.
Yeah, and it's like you don't understand, like, and every issue, for example, they put a different bio for themselves.
Yeah,
and it's a joke every time. And it's like just all these great jokes in this, and the absurdity of it all. And I wish there was just more stuff like that. You know, if you like sort of absurdist stuff, but that has like a point, like these stories are saying something, like it's really, really incredible stuff. You know, and it's not just this. There's plenty of stuff like that Piranha put out that's similar, or like Kitchen Sink Press, or
so starting with Piranha, there's you mentioned Epicurus the Sage. So I watched this YouTube video, and this dude was like talking about Piranha. I was like, okay, maybe I don't, I all my memories are when it was happening, and I might not know everything. And so, it was interesting. The guy that was running this imprint for DC, Piranha Press, really wasn't into comics, but he was a businessman and he knew how to make companies work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the thing the guy said that really struck me, he's like, nothing really stuck out long, and nobody really of note like came from this. And I'm like, wait, William Messner Loebs, he was writing Wonder Woman later. Sam Keith doing the Max, MTV, all this stuff. You've got Kyle Baker. Mark Hamill to a lesser degree. Grant Morrison. Oh my God,
yeah, but Why I Hate Saturn is incredible.
Now I got to admit, I've never read that, but I do believe I have that one.
When you get a chance, read it. It's really good. Yeah. There's a whole bit where Kyle Baker portrays what was it? Mike Gold in a very sort of unflattering way.
Really, Mike Gold. Now, Mike Gold, from what I understand, has been noted as saying some pretty heinous things in the workplace. Am I mistaken? Yeah. That was the Superman editor, right?
He was on Superman for a bit, yeah. I can't speak to all of that, but
I mean, it's just rumor and innuendo that's been said on social media by people, but
yeah, but no, he's
speaking of Kyle Baker, here we go.
But yeah, but
I think this was like the first time Kyle Baker was allowed to write comics, right?
I think so, yeah. But
so like everything that we've seen since then, the Bakers, Plastic Man, what was the one he did with Hudlin and McGruder? Do you remember that one?
Oh,
I love that one. It's so fucking good. I can never remember the name.
I know what you're talking about.
It's where St. Louis or South whatever secedes. Oh yeah, St. Louis secedes from Missouri. And they get their own theme song, and it's in the tune of the Jeffersons. That was a time where lyrics were written and it worked perfectly, like those Mad magazines.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the damn name of that book was, but it was freaking great.
No, definitely.
Oh, there you go. Why I Hate Saturn.
Yeah. I think Mike Gold might have been involved in some way with Wasteland at Piranha Press as well. I think. But he, one thing I will say though with Mike Gold, after he read Kardak the Mystic, he emailed me and told me that he really liked it and would like to see me on more Archie stuff.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that you had contact with him. I was not trying to make any waves or anything like that.
No, you're good. But no, it's it was very, very nice of him. I wasn't,
awesome.
I didn't know he read it, but it was nice. But
so towards the end of Piranha Press, they were doing these Prince comic books. I found out. I didn't really know much about this. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, it kind of got weird at the end, and Howard Cruz's Stuck Rubber Baby was originally contracted through Piranha Press, but by the time it came out, it was like Paradox Press or whatever. But,
was the Stuck Rubber Baby, was that ever like printed in smaller parts and other things? I can't remember.
No, it was just, it went straight to graphic novel.
But so funny enough, not only in this, but like in other things, you'll see Howard Cruz like short stories and like Underground. I don't know, Zap maybe, but maybe not Zap, but something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
maybe
he did
something with Peter Bagg probably or something.
Yeah, but he edited gay comics at Kitchen Sink Press. Dennis Kitchen tapped him for that, and he was the editor for the first few issues.
I remember who was Andy Mangles was another one that was involved with that one, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, and then
that was probably later issues then.
Yeah, and he also did was it Barefoot was a comic he did, like short comic book. He did that for a while. And he did Wendell at the Advocate for like a decade.
I only know it in a collected format, right?
Yeah, it's they've collected Wendell, and I think Wendell's fantastic, but yeah, that's great. And Stuck Rubber Baby is just fantastic. I own a page from it.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a good one too. It's when they what was it? The KKK writes faggot on the door, and then they're like running away and stuff like that. It's a powerful page, but that was like I want this one,
I want this one.
Like if you're gonna do it.
So Paradox. So Piranha Press, I remember like Beautiful Stories, and maybe like the Gregory was the thing that was really a hit with me and my friend.
Yeah, Gregory for sure. I love Mark Hempel too. I got dinner with him at Baltimore.
All right. Recently or a while ago?
Yeah, at Baltimore Comic-Con last month. Like me, him, Mark Wheatley, Richard Case. We all went out to a very nice Italian restaurant. It was a good time.
Richard Case too. Oh my god, that's like my 90s. Those are like some 90s icons as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, no, it was a fun time.
That's amazing. All right. So the only other book I feel that I remember that was worth the shit were the big books that Paradox Press put out. When I was working at Comic Relief in 99, 2000, whatever, they were still putting these out, and when they were going out of print, we got a shit ton of those so that we would have them in stock. And like in a college town where there's a lot of tourism, this is like one of the greatest type of books. And like the Urban Legends was really popular. The Hoaxes was popular. There was a Scandals one. I don't think Mike Gold was in that.
No.
Okay, good. Do you see this video playing behind me?
Yeah.
Is this crazy? I picked this up off of YouTube. Someone did the animation of the first issue of Beautiful Stories, the Cotton Candy, what is it? Cotton Candy
Autopsy.
Autopsy. Thank you very much. Let me get these covers out of the way. Yeah, I just love these covers.
They're so good.
So, do you know the art? So you were talking about how the introductions were different for each time issue. Each issue.
Yeah.
So Dan Sweetman's the artist,
Yep.
And I don't know how to say his name. Dave Lepar.
Yeah, I've never had to pronounce it before or something. But yeah, Dave.
Good old Dave. Is the writer, and I did like clip things from the comic that I was talking about, but maybe we don't need to necessarily get into that. But this is another thing that I was growing up, and I remember, well, I was in my 20s by this time, but Mr. Bungle, he did the cover. Dave Sweetman, right?
Yeah.
Dan Sweetman, Dave.
Dan Sweetman.
The other one.
You're good.
And I love this album, by the way. All the Mr. Bungle stuff. Gotta love that. I'm not a big Faith No More guy, but I think Mr. Bungle's pretty great. What do you? So, for me, Piranha Press, and especially this book, was very much comic books, so that I could keep reading comic books, and maybe like consider like still hanging out with girls. Hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Isn't a comic book you're necessarily going to see. Thankfully, there are guys like Grant Morrison putting out books soon thereafter. Alan Moore before that, and this is like the weird different stuff that wasn't necessarily, it was a mainstream book. It was part of DC. It was it was pretty powerful stuff, I thought.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about the series? I mean, you kind of talked about it. People are gonna say weird, but not weird like a Republican, right?
Yeah, no, not weird like that. But no, this is very like it's just like really out there stuff, but it's grounded. Like that's the stuff, like that's how like Ice Cream Man works too, right? Like it's the same kind of concept of we're gonna have something really over the top happening, but these characters are gonna have very like human emotions or reactions to insane things or like that sort of stuff. And it just works so well. And it's exciting, and it's like the kind of stuff you would read and like you feel like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain maybe, but it's like you feel like you're in on a secret, like you're in on something that's like, ooh, like I'm reading something that like not everyone else really knows about, and it's like challenging, and it's really like pushing the boundaries, and like I'm like part of like this thing now that's really stands out and has something to say and is visceral and is very like just I don't know, it's great when you read something that's interesting and challenging and pushes the envelope, and you don't really get that in most media in general, let alone comics. I mean, it's and to do it in a one and done format where you can't wait to grab the next issue. Like I just have this stack and I've just been like, like, oh, all right, I want the next one. Let me just keep reading them because it's just pure gold. Like it is just fantastic stuff. It's special, and it makes you wish that there was a lot more stuff like this. But especially it's probably not fair to say especially now because there's always been crap, but when you read stuff and you get caught in just the monotony of it and everything reads like the same thing and it's the same kind of twist, and you're subverting expectations in the same way, so you're not subverting expectations at all, and it feels like everyone is just trying to tell the same story. It gets you get burnt out on it. Like how many new number ones from a non-big two publisher are he's a washed up cop or detective or guy or whatever, or
he's 20 years past his prime, and he's getting back in the game one last time.
Yeah, and then and it's all this high concept shit where it's but the twist is they're in a city surrounded by kaiju. The twist is they're on Mars. The twist is they live on a train that goes around the universe. And you're like, who gives a fuck? I mean, you can't keep doing that. I mean, this is shit that Gary Groth was bitching about in the 80s. He was talking about how you would get all these indie comics that came out that would try to sell you on the high concept in issue 1, and then they were just twiddling their thumbs until the book ended. And that's just, it's not a way to put out comics. But he was complaining about that 40 years ago, and we're still doing it. And
we are still doing it.
And it's just but it's always, and then and it's this guy, and he's, we're hinting that he had some sort of falling out with his wife or his best friend or his brother or his parents, like someone really close had a falling out, and that's going to be the core of this. That's going to keep you caring about this character because you've had a falling out in your life too, because you're a middle-aged man reading comics. There's no way you haven't had a falling out with someone important to you. And then the twist again, where it's just but it's actually 1,000 years in the past or whatever. But they sacrifice people to the volcano god here. It's like you could just throw darts at a board and come up with half this stuff. And
that's why I feel like guys like writers like Jeff Lemire and Matt Kent are different than the average writer. They're doing things that I mean, it's episodic, and it's got things I'm sure that some people will find fault with, but they're doing, I mean, even when they're doing the mainstream stuff, especially Jeff Lemire doing the mainstream, we're going to see his JSA coming out soon. I feel like he lends, I hate to use the word because I made fun of it so often, but this is the reality is we're looking for an authentic story, not something that's manufactured, not a paint by number situation, not something that's just going to be churned out. We always get excited though for the Maxi miniseries crossover event, world shaking, end of the universe stories, those are the things that actually sell. And in books like this, it was nice when it existed, and not a lot of people know about it. I mean, that's kind of the reality. What other books have you read in the past or even recently, other than Ice Cream Man, that live up to this kind of hype? I know that I hadn't talked about this with you, so if you can't come up with something, I feel like I can think of some superhero books, mainstream books like that, but obviously most of it's going to be outside the mainstream. But what do you think are like this?
I mean, when it comes to sort of mainstream or mainstream adjacent or whatever, Grant's Doom Patrol, when I first read it, for sure. I first read it years ago, but that was something where I was like, this is a superhero comic. It was like one of those kind of things. James Robinson's Starman run was really I was like, oh, this is we're dealing Jack feels like a fresh take on a superhero type character. And just a lot of the things they would do with it, that it was such a gut punch, when he kills Kyle, and then he has that whole bit where he says, I love my brother, and then there's that caption of I don't know if I love him, I just said it, that kind of stuff, very early in the run, where I was like, oh, there's something special going on here, I really need to pay attention to this. I guess Tom King's The Vision, the first time I read it, I think there was something there. I was like, all right. But when it comes to other comics like that, Zot, I think, is up there for me. That one that one really stands out. I loved Kings in Disguise. That one over at that was a
Oh, I know what you're.
Press book.
Is that Crilly? Is that who that was? No, Robbins. I can't remember who was that.
Yeah, I have my copy. Here, give me it's
not Crilly. I can't remember. Oh, it's such an. It's in my head, but I can't remember. I'm so sorry. I'm making you look for it.
No, it's
Oh, that King's in Disguise. I remember that. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
This
I
one
sold the shit out of that.
I love this one. You know,
All
you have
right.
stuff like that.
Oh, anything by James Sturm usually is pretty good.
Yeah.
The Gold's Mighty Swing's really a good one, especially if you like baseball.
I picked up that collected Neil the Horse. That one really stuck out for me.
What's the deal with that? Because I've had back issues of that, but I've never read it. Neil the Horse.
It's like a cracked out Betty Boop kind of thing.
Okay.
Like the first story of Neil the Horse is Neil the Horse Goes to Hell.
Okay.
It's like that kind of side. I'm like, this is fucking great.
All right, excellent.
Like, you know, God, there's I'm trying to think like there were some comics from like God, what's his name? Like Andre Tomini.
Adrian Tomine, yeah.
Adrian Tomine, like Killing and Dying.
He's from
like
out
that
here.
collection. Nice.
Yeah, he all right, so check this out. When I worked at Comic Relief, Richard Sala, Dan Clowes, and Adrian Tomine would come in and buy comics on Wednesdays there. That was pretty sweet. Then they separated, and then one died.
Ugh, but
that's how it goes.
But I mean, like 8 Ball. I mean, that's a trip.
Yeah.
I mean, even what was it like a Velvet Glove Cast in Iron? Like that's that blew me away the first time I read it. And also that story about the this one just like was seared into my mind. The one with the caricature artist who would like who was like staying like going around staying in like motels like and like touring as like a caricature artist. Like that one was
that an 8 Ball also?
It was an 8 Ball. It was one of
I don't
like
remember.
in like
Is
the
it
teens.
Pussy? Is that who it was?
It's not a Daniel Pussy
okay.
One, but no, it was that was a really good one.
You ever read Lloyd Llewellyn? Speaking of Dan Clowes,
I'm not sure if I have.
I've that's how I cut my teeth on Dan Clowes back in the day.
Nice.
And then I caught up with 8 Ball, but it's been a while, and I'm not as fluid as I am in maybe like some of the Drawn and Quarterly guys. You know, it's funny you're saying like everybody was like doing independent like autobiographical type stuff or biographical type stuff about themselves, and you know the Drawn and Quarterly guys were doing that. And even if you went and saw some of like the Kill Marvel guy, you know what's his name, even he's doing like a fantasy of real life. I don't know if I put it on quite the same level, but you know, it just seemed like, you know, you're right. Even in the independent, even back then, the days when I was looking at stuff and being influenced, you know, beautiful stories, there was still that stuff that was kind of being churned out. Like, oh, it got popular, so this person's doing it. Crumb did it way back in the day, so it really doesn't matter now. You know, that type of stuff.
No, absolutely. But I still love Fritz the Cat and some of that other stuff. But I saw the movie on the big screen a few months ago.
Oh, really?
That was fun. Like Fritz the Cat, they did it's a great movie. I love it.
And it's a porno movie, right?
Yeah, it's a rated X cartoon. It was the first X-rated cartoon in America, I think. But also though, with that, I mean, obviously other Charles Burns stuff, like Black Hole. I love it. Even Daniel Clowes' like Monica. I mean, I read that last year and that was great.
I didn't get into that one. I'll have to try that one again. The
ending really, I think, cements it. But
you'll like Final Cut though. I can't wait to talk to you about that.
No, I
It's worth
really want to read it like
Yeah.
ASAP and talk about. But Jeffrey Brown's Clumsy
Oh
was
yeah. Yeah.
I love that. That was great. I've read that a few times. It's a quick read, but like I'm
Mhm.
just every once in a while I'm like I got to read Clumsy again.
All right. Cool.
What was it? Too Much Coffee Man.
He's another sort of local guy.
Yeah, I
Shannon Wheeler.
love I caught up with Shannon Wheeler at he was at Rose City Comic Con. And
Oh yeah, he's a good guy. I like him.
oh
I
yeah, no,
love
he's
I love
great.
Too Much Coffee. Again, half of the story was autobiographical at that time. But I remember the Converse ads. Have you ever seen the animated Converse ads of Too
Yeah.
Much Coffee Man? That's cool.
No, it's all great stuff. And he's just a cool guy. The one time I was at San Diego Comic Con in like 2018, he won an Eisner and he just had it on the table. So I just go up to him and I'm like, Shannon, I gotta know how many people came up to you and just instinctively went to like spin it. Like the little globe on the thing. And he was just like, oh, like 3 or 4 people, like just it seemed like just went to
Does it spin?
It spins, yes. That's why I was like,
right.
people probably just like instinctively just go like, ooh, can I?
Maybe if I have a signing with him, that could be like the go-to, like where you can come and spin his Eisner.
Yeah, no, I mean he's great. I have a Too Much Coffee Man page, and
Wow.
my brother James loves it too. So I bought him a page for like a
Oh.
birthday of his like a few years ago.
So nice.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? We're way over 2 hours. We've been talking about stuff, just having a good old time.
Yeah, no, it's great
Hey,
for people that don't know Clumsy. Pick it up.
oh, look
It's
at
really
you,
good.
just pulling out a Clumsy. Hey, let me ask you
Yeah.
before I say, hey, we should leave.
Yeah.
If we, you know what? I'm going to show you a mainstream book that is like super special. And I know it's hard to believe, but it's written by Bob Harris. I know. It's called
Okay.
Breach. Okay.
Yeah.
It's drawn by Marcos Martin. And anytime he's not doing it, it's who's the other one that works with him? Can't think of his name right now. Equally as good.
Yeah.
And this is fantastic. Mainstream DC. Also, Mage. Matt Wagner. I'm a big fan. I mean, it was something so different for me as a kid growing up that it's really powerful stuff. I was talking about Lloyd Llewellyn. Here you go. I got all these magazines right here. This was the first one that I remember reading more than anything. It had a Large Marge type story in it.
Awesome.
And then also during that time, Fantagraphics reprinted Don Rose's comics and stories, featuring his college comic book called the Pert Willoughby Papers.
Nice.
And this stuff, when I found out about this, is hilarious. And it's just ridiculous.
I do have my copy of Killing and Dying.
Killing and Dying. Oh yeah.
Signed by.
Look at you. All right.
Yeah.
Do you remember what album covers he did? What group he did album covers for?
I know he did them. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know.
Yeah, was it the Eels? Was that who it was? Did he do the Eels, Jill? I think that's what it was. Oh, look at this. Eric Breen's here. I'm watching with my pinky extended. That's exactly the kind of comics we're talking about right now.
Exactly. I got an arm's reach of me one of these like American Best comics collections, but this was edited by Alison Bechdel, who
nice.
That's good stuff for me, which was nice to hear.
You mean Broadway's own Alison Bechdel?
I had her sign my playbill too. But and then this was good too. The Joseph and the Mormons by Noah Van Sciver.
I never ordered that one. I almost get everything Noah does, but I just kind of fell asleep on that one. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
He's great. Yeah, no, we talked about it a little bit. I have a step cousin who converted to Mormonism, so we were talking about
Really?
that when I was,
How is that? Have you read that book yet?
Yeah.
How is it?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good book.
He did one called so I was buying a lot of his small press stuff when we first opened. And he did one about a guy that I can't remember. It's like the guy who got his printing press burned down in like Utah. I think he was like publishing Mormon materials or something like that, and the people got a little upset. Maybe it was not in, wasn't in Utah, but nonetheless, it was Elijah something or another.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds familiar.
I can't remember what the guy's name is, but yeah, I really loved Blammo. I like his One Dirty Street, which is like him and his brothers and a crazy amount of family and people and destitution that they lived in. It's great. Awesome stuff.
Nice. No, that's good. You know what else? This was First Second put out a few good things, and there was this one, Three Shadows, that I love, and I go back and reread. It was done by I want to say it was a French artist who had done some work on like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like the Disney version, but it is a what was it? Cyril Pedrosa.
Okay.
And it's this like it's like a bit of like a fantasy graphic novel, but it's very grounded. It's like this couple and they have a little boy, and there's three shadows in the distance, and they keep coming closer and closer. And it's very clear to the parents that they're there to take the boy. And every night they get closer and closer, and the mother is sort of like, well, we're doing all we can, but like, there's only so much we can do. We can't like avoid this from happening. And the father's, very like, no, I'll never let anything happen to my son. And I can't believe that you would let him. Like, I don't care how far I have to travel around the world to get away from them, but I'm gonna save my son. And like, he goes off with the son, and it is just this like beautiful, devastating story, and like I highly recommend it.
Sounds heavy.
Yeah, but like it's so good. It's just like the kind of thing where like it's like it's very clear where like a story like that can only go in like sort of like one direction, but it's that journey, and it's like knowing, and it's that like, and it's still, even when you get to it's like, oh, so good.
Damn. Three Shadows.
Three Shadows.
All right. Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Joe, for being on the show. If you want to see Joe, he's going to be, again, Sunday, he's going to be signing with the Mad Cave imprint called Maverick. All right.
Yep, at the Mad Cave booth. Yep.
He'll be palling around with Aaron Sparrow, Joe Casey, and Landry Walker from time to time. And what was the other one you were doing? You're just going to be like hanging out at Mad Cave, right? Or Archie?
Yeah, I'll be hanging out with the Mad Cave people, but I'll be around. I'll be popping around Artist Alley.
And a big announcement about a crazy big title that you're going to be working on, right?
Well, there'll be an announcement Saturday.
Saturday. All right, awesome.
Should be Saturday. Yeah.
All right, good. I can't wait. Instagram.
I can't either.
You just don't need anybody blowing it for you beforehand, like press releases or anything. Saturday. So you got a Friday thing, a Saturday thing, and a Sunday thing at the New York City.
But I'll be there the whole time. I'll probably get in Thursday, probably a little afternoon. Like, I don't need to get there when it starts, and it's 4 days. So like, but I'll be around, and like, if you know me, say hi, reach out. I'd be happy to, or You can try to find me around, Mag Cave, or if we're mutuals and you want to DM me or something, be like, oh, I'm around, want to say hi. Like, you can. It's all right.
Nice. You know that my baseball team is playing in. Well, I don't own them or anything. It's playing in New York this weekend. Well, for 3 games, starting tomorrow.
Oh.
Is that anywhere near where the convention is?
I mean, it's definitely not going to be close to the convention,
Okay,
but
good.
it's you could get there. You could probably because where would they be playing? Out in Queens?
I don't know. It used to be Shea Stadium, but I don't think that's the thing they play at anymore.
Yeah, but it's still like the Mets still play. I think it's still off
right
the
by
7
LaGuardia, right?
Yeah, but I think you can still. I think the 7 train, which takes you to the Javits Center, I think you could hop on the 7 and go right to. I think you can get pretty close on the 7 to the stadium.
There's a lot of things going on in New York, like all the time, right?
Yeah, which is nice. And there's also great like here's the thing too, which I try to do for people when they come and they want to hang out and stuff. It's like there's so many great coffee shops, great places to get lunch or breakfast or something. Like you're coming all the way to New York. Some people are coming from all over the world, or coming from outside the tri-state area. You're not in New York that often. The fuck you going to like Starbucks or McDonald's or like a whole
don't go to Olive Garden. Don't go there.
Talk to me. Don't go to Bubba Gump Shrimp. Don't go to Red Lobster. Hit me. Like there are so many great places. I would love to take people who I don't have the time. I don't have that. You went all the way to New York. Make the time.
Is
get
White
up a little
Castle
early
one of
if you
those
got
things? You don't do that, right?
I don't think it's here, but but I mean, like there's so many incredible restaurants that I like David Azan of Nottingham fame was in town in August, took him to the Second Avenue Deli. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic place.
All right, so if you're gonna go hang out with Joe, you're gonna eat at the good places. You got good.
Yeah,
coffee.
you got to go to the good places because, I mean, what else is that? It's like there's so many great like little diners and other places. I don't want to tell everyone all the secrets of New York on your stream, but like there are pizza places that are better than others. Like, you're like, Joe's pizza is good, or like John's pizza is good, but do you know the good John's pizza or the good Joe's pizza? You gotta ask me. So.
All right, awesome. That's good to know. I hope I'm in New York someday so we can take advantage of this, right, Jill? I don't know. Ever since 9/11, I am really not down with the idea of flying anywhere around the East Coast. Actually, I'm more like, I think I'd rather drive to St. Louis, or I'd rather fly to St. Louis and drive the rest of the way. You know what I mean?
You want to hear?
I want to drive out of New York. I don't want to fly out of New York. You know what I mean?
Okay? You want to hear my favorite 9/11 joke?
Okay.
All right. Knock knock.
Who's there?
9/11.
9/11. Who?
I thought you said you'd never forget.
I will never forget. I will never forget. It's a true statement. I will never forget. Thank you for joining us, Joe.
Thanks for having me.
Hope you have fun this weekend. I can't wait to have you on real soon with Landry to talk about Doctor Who only. And then later on, Final Cut. And maybe we'll do a big old smorgasbord of beautiful stories someday.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. The important thing that I want people to get out of this is that we're pretentious, well-read comics people that come down to your level with the tights occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, you started with that's why you started with Legion Lost. I saw that. I mean,
see, don't worry. I also love the Legion and a bunch of other stuff. So.
Again, thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Give us a thumbs up, blah, blah, blah. Thanks to all our Patreon members, and I'll see you next week for sure. Bye.